Hello, I'm Emily Powers, and today I'm going to show you how to paint this picture. I got this photo off of Pixabay, and I did a practice of it. So this is my painting. This is a Canson XL mixed media book. So I do my practice paintings in there, so I can figure out my coloring and everything. And then this canvas panel I pre-painted with Unbleached Titanium, and it's a 8 by 10 inch canvas panel from Daler Rowney, and it comes in with 3 canvases in the pack. And then the colors I'm using are titanium white, unbleached titanium, cadmium orange, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and yellow ochre. I didn't put yellow ochre in my original one, but I thought maybe I could add a little bit of it and make it have one more extra color to it. The brushes that I'm going to use are a 3/8 inch angle shader. This is the Princeton Velvet Touch, and then a 1 round in the same Princeton. So just a small round. The numbering in different brushes are different, so if you have a different brand, the number 1 in that brand probably won't be the same. But this is a 3/8 inch Lunar Blender, so it's got really scruffy bristles for making things blurred out. And I'm going to use a watercolor pencil for the drawing later, and I'm also going to use a sponge for the background. So I'm just going to get the sponge damp. I'm going to dip it in my water and get as much water out as I can, so I just want it really damp. And then I'm going to get the white and some of maybe this yellow. I'm going to put some of it in, and then I'm going to take some more white and some unbleached titanium. So I'm really just going to take a bunch of different colors and blend them in. Taking some burnt umber, and I'm really just kind of tapping around and adding just a little bit of each color. Really the only color I'm not going to use in this background is probably going to be the orange that I have. And just a little bit of the burnt sienna. Put some of that in here. I want to brighten it up a little bit, so get some brighter white in there. And the burnt umber and ultramarine blue make like a gray, so I'm gonna just get some of that and put it in. I'm blending it in, blending these colors in while they're wet. the sponge that I'm using is really just a piece of an old like car washing sponge, but you can get sponges like sea sponges at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or someplace like that. So if you enjoy this video, then please like and subscribe. I have a few other videos on my channel, and I'm going to be putting a new one every Friday. This is the first winter themed one that I'm doing. And I knew what the name of this bird was at some point, and I kind of forget. I think it's a kind of robin, but it's not like an American robin that you would that we see sometimes. It's more, I think it's a European robin, I think is what it's called. I painted one of these before close up, but I kind of like the way that it looks when you paint a bird far away. It's just so small and cute. And I'm going to add more of the pink-ish colors, I think, when I get down lower. I'm going to try not to touch into it getting much yellow anymore. So you can tap around in different areas and then go back and kind of blend them in. I don't know where that came from. It's a really big hair. It seems like for some reason every time that I film a video, a hair just jumps right on my thing. I don't know why that happens. I'm going to put a little bit of the blue and burnt umber in here. I'm going to clean my sponge out because it's got so many colors on it. I'm going to get it clean. And I'm going to be adding more burnt sienna the further down I go. Oops. I think the palette wanted to get more on the camera. So I'm adding a lot more of the burnt sienna color and trying to make it a little more pinkish down here. And now I'm going to take some more of this gray color and start adding it up in here. Like maybe there's some dark bushes or something dark back here. I think that's about good. I'm just looking at my picture some more. Let's make sure that this is how I want it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to clean my sponge out, and then I'm going to dry this, and we will draw in our bird and fence. Okay, so now I'm going to take my brown colored pencil, now that this is dry, and in our picture, it's about, if you do it into the thirds, it's like, let's see, it would be right about here, would be on the third. So we're going to want to split into thirds and then have a little more of the post on this side than this side. So I'm going to split it into thirds. So here's the third, and I'll put it here. Here, I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm just going to come up to about halfway, so about halfway, and then there's this post kind of slants upward and does a slight curve, and there's going to be, it's going to curve in like that, have a flat base, and then head back. That's one post. And then the other one, if you split it into thirds, it would be, let's see, it would be about, let's see, maybe split it into half and then split it into half again. It's going to be right in this fourth area. So split it in half again. This post is going to be slightly smaller than the first one because it's farther away, but it's not going to be that much smaller. it's also taller than the first one. So it's going to come up, let's see, past the halfway mark. So our bird's going to fit right in here. It needs to be a little lower than that. So right out here is where we need to stop it. And it has a kind of diagonal line on both sides and then a line on top. And I think I may just not draw the wires, because when I did it the last time, it kind of blended with my brown pencil and didn't come out as bright. I could probably go over it several more times, but to make sure that we don't have to go over it as many times, I'm just not going to draw that part in. But our bird is, let's see, its little foot is coming off right here, and its leg comes off here. Let me see if I can zoom in and move this over so you can see it a little better. Move this over. Okay. It's going to start, the body starts right here and slopes down and back up and around. Actually, its body comes out past the post slightly. Then we're going to do like a circle for the head. And it's going to come down and then come back this way around. Little beak. And the wing comes in right here, and the tail slants down just slightly. So I'm looking at this bird and just kind of looking at the shapes. I think, let's see, I think it's pretty good. Its head may need to be slightly bigger. Okay, and any adjustments we can make when we paint it. So I'm going to zoom the camera back out. I moved my plate so that wouldn't be in the way. Okay, I'm going to take my angle brush and get some of the burnt umber and yellow oxide and burnt sienna. I'm just going to kind of see what color we get. We're going to try that and see how I like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Going to do a nice straight edge. And I'm going to add some water to it to help it flow better, so that we can get this edge to be a nice line. If you don't add enough water, it can kind of skip around and it'll leave like a jagged edge. And I'm going to take some more burnt umber and go along that line that we did. Actually, clean that out. I think I'm going to add some of the Ultramarine Blue because it's not really showing dark enough. I'm going to pull some down just a little bit, just so we know where that ends right there. And I'm going to switch brushes really quick and get my Lunar Blender and grab that color and kind of use it to fuzz out the edges of this one, because it's in the background. And if you go too far out, you can get some water to your paper towel or your rag and kind of fix that. And I think I took off some of my paint when I did that, so I'm gonna put that back in. There. I'm gonna put some more of it over here so it's not just right there. Okay, now that I got the edge fuzzed out, I'm going to go back to my angle brush, and that's really all that I'm going to do with the Lunar Blender. Just want to get that edge fuzzed out. And when I go up against the edges, I don't want there to be a whole lot of paint on my brush, or else I'll get a hard line like I was trying to get on over here. Okay, and I'm going to get this dark and put it under there. And kind of blend it out just a little bit. So we know where that one stops. I think we can do a little bit on our bird now. So I'm going to take my little round brush and take the dark color, add some white to it, add more brown, and this is the first coat, so certain parts you can see through, and we'll have to go back in and fix that. You can't see through it. And when you're using these round brushes, you want to add more water so that they'll flow better. I'm going to put some back here along its neck and on its head. And I'm going to take more of the brown and the burnt sienna for the wing area. Needing more water so it flows better. And then I'm going to take some burnt sienna and add it where the brighter red is going to be. And then I'm going to take some of this orange and add some white to it, because the cadmium orange by itself doesn't cover very well, so you have to add like white under it to help it. I'm gonna put some I'm ready to go back to that gray and add some more right here on the head. And then I'm going to water it down so that I can get my thin line for the tail. And then I'm going to take some of this color we used on the wings, the burnt sienna and burnt umber, and take it and put its foot in. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do for him at the moment. And we'll come back and put more the defining features on him. But actually, there's these little loops where the wires hang on to. So I'm going to put that in. Actually, I think I want it down a little bit. That's one thing I think is nice about acrylic painting, is that you can move things around even after you've put them there, as long as you don't let it dry. You can put it there. And I think I'm going to put a little area here. It's a loop. You can see a little bit of these. There's a third one that comes down a little farther than these two are. So these two are further apart than these two are, just by a little bit. And I'm going to take my angle brush again and do the white lines. Got too much brown in there. You want it to be as white as it can be, because these wires are covered in snow. And I'm gonna come here and it kind of comes and does this dip down. Let me do that again. There we go. And then this one is pretty straight. So this, where this peg is where it's going to start on the opposite side, because it is the same wire. And it doesn't have any major humps in it. There's kind of like a slight curve type thing there, but and this one starts and does kind of like a thing down and back up. This is a weird curving thing, and it's not quite the angle that I want it to be. I want it to be ending here, so add that in. I'm just taking a color to go back over, because the paint's not cured yet, so it's going to lift some if you rub too hard, and it needs 24 hours basically for it not to do that. It needs to cure for 24 hours for it not to lift. So whenever if you rub too hard, it can lift off. And I'm going to take my white and one that goes up here, and again across from this little thing that comes out is where it's going to start. And there's like a knot right in here in the wire. And if we get in the post a little bit, you don't have to worry about it because we're going to do some more in the post anyway. Go. And then there's also a knot in here. And it goes pretty straight. So if your wires aren't exactly like mine, it's fine. You know, you can imagine them being, it could be a brand new fence. It could be a really old fence that's, you know, got dents and things in it. Just whatever you want it to look like. So I'm going to take my Unbleached Titanium and burnt umber and some yellow oxide, and I have just a little bit of paint on my brush, and I'm gonna like skim it. So I'm just lightly brushing over the wood planks. Put some on here. We're going to do the same over here. Just brushing a little bit on. And I'm going to take some of this burnt sienna mixture that I had. Brush some of it on. I'm going to take some of the yellow ochre, and it's mixing with what's already on my brush, so. And I'm going to get some of the Unbleached Titanium with it because it's kind of hard to see. And letting the texture of the canvas pick up the paint is making all these really interesting effects with it. I'm going to take some of the burnt umber straight and do it. And I'm going to take some of the Ultramarine Blue with it. You can do as much or as little of this as you want to. And sometimes when you're skimming, more will come off in certain places than you expected, and less will come off in other places. And that's fine. Just let it come off, even if it's in odd ways. Let it come off and just see what happens with it. Okay, I'm going to take the Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber again, and this time I'm going to do this crack that's in the wood. There's a little bit right there, maybe some right there. And there's kind of like a dark area right in here, like a knot hole or something. Another one right in here. Some dark under there. There's some dark that kind of comes down off of here. I'm going to put some in here, but it's going to be covered with snow, so these top pieces don't have to be as defined. And I'm going to take some burnt sienna and kind of blend some of that up into it. Certain areas. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to switch to my little round brush again. And I think I'm going to move this over and zoom in again. A little more. I'm going to take this color over here. I think it was Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber with some white or something like that. With more burnt umber though. And I'm gonna put that up under here. Under his belly. I'm going to take a little extra white, maybe some unbleached titanium, and I'm going to put like some feather type things up under here. And then we're going to take some of the darker color we had just a minute ago and put some of that here. And then the burnt umber and burnt sienna. And filling in the wing with it. And taking a lighter gray, putting some here. And then I'm going to take some Unbleached Titanium with the burnt sienna and burnt umber color we had for the wing. We're just going to flick in. Oh, I got too much water there. I'm just flicking in some like feather type things, or it's going to look like that. And then I'm taking burnt sienna, flicking back, some more of that light color we just had. And I'm going to take the burnt sienna and the orange and put it right here, so where that really light color comes. And then I'm going to rinse my brush out real quick and get this straight cadmium orange. And put it in right in there. But it's not super bright, so the burnt sienna will cut it down some. Just put a little bit in that gray area, just kind of for an orange glow. And then I'm going to take the burnt umber and ultramarine blue and thin it out with water for the tail. I'm going to go over that one more time just to darken it. And there's also the other wing from the other side. Comes off right there. So it doesn't come down quite as low as this other one. They're about even, but it kind of slants up slightly. So I'm going to take that burnt sienna, put it down just a little bit more. And I'm going to take this dark color and I'm going to put like a slight shadow where the wing comes. And take the color we had for under the belly and put that and blend it in. And then I'm going to take this really dark color the ultramarine blue and burnt umber that we've been using a lot. I'm going to put the eye right there. I'm trying to get it the right shape. I'm going to clean my brush out so that I can lift some of that color I just put down off. So with a clean brush, you can lift color off. There we go. And I'm going to take some white to this color in here, just like a light grayish brown, and put it behind the eye. Some. I'm going to clean my brush out so that I can lift off some color and lift off some. We don't want that much. And then I'm going to take this dark color that we did for the eye and put in its beak. There we go. And I'm going to add some white to that and just put a little highlight on the beak. And then I'm also going to take some straight white and put a little tiny highlight on the eye. So I'm going to lift up. Let's see, I'm going to have to do that again. This brush is really small, but it can be hard to get it small enough even. You know, I'm going to come back to that and make it darker. Zoom back out. This over here. And I'm going to do a little bit more white. Need a little bit more on my palette. A little bit more white on the wires where the snow is. And we're also going to need to put some snow on top of the posts. Take some, put it along there. I'm going to do some. I'm going to push my palette away just for a minute so that I can get my hand in there. Need some in here. Okay. I'm going to rinse that brush out and get my Willows blender again. I forgot that I used this for the putting snow on top of the posts. I thought I only used it that once to blur the edges, but I guess not. I'm just going to tap some snow in here. There we go. And then some on this one. There we go. And I'm going to take my round brush and get this dark color, and we're going to put some in here where the wires And I'm gonna get my white again. They are not where they're all knotted up. There's some dark in here. And it's the natural watercolor, so I'm going to take white, and if it grays it, that's fine, but you want there to be pure white at the top of all these. Okay, and I'm going to just real quick take some more of this white and put it in here. Wasn't light enough. Here's some too. Alright, I think we're just going to do the finishing touches. The eye needs to be darkened. And I'm going to make my brush come to as fine of a point as I can. Dip it in that white. And just put a small little dot right in there. And kind of fuzz it out so that he's got like a little highlight in his eye there. And we need to put in his feet. We need to put his feet back in. Kind of got lost. We only really see one foot. And I'm gonna take some of the burnt umber, put kind of like a shadow right up under his foot. Take some of the dark color, put a little claw, really, really small. And the last thing I think we need to do is put a light highlight on his tail. Take some of this dark color, put some along. Actually, I think I need my angle brush because it will come to a finer point. Put some right under this to make it look like you can see the wire underneath just slightly. A little bit under here. And I think I might just add a little more whites to it when I do these ones back here, because the further away it gets, the lighter it gets to where you can't see it as much. And there's just a little bit of, I didn't put this in the reference picture, or the practice painting I did. I keep wanting to call it reference picture, that doesn't sound right. but there's these little sprigs of grass that kind of come up. They're like snow covered, so just gonna put them down real low. And there's not any over here, and it's kind of a little indication of some over there. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to take my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. It's the extra small. I'm going to sign my name. You want to have your bit of fingers width away so that if you frame it, it will not cover up your name. If you do it right on the edge, it can cover up your name if you frame it. So, I don't normally frame mine if it's a actual canvas that's wrapped around the edges, but with these panels, if you're going to hang them, you have to have a canvas or a frame. So there's our little birdie. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. If you want to, you can hit my picture and it can bring up my other videos I've done. This will be in the playlist for the easy acrylic paintings, and there's some other videos for beginners and also a few that are a little harder for if you've been painting a while. And I hope that you come back to see my next video. Bye.